What up, you guys, and welcome to another episode of the Black Expat Podcast, but on YouTube. So excited to be here with you guys today. I'm going to finish what I started with my previous episode and wrap up the time I spent in Laos. But I want to answer a direct question I got about my experience in Laos and focus on that for the conclusion. As always, there's more videos and more conversations about what I did in Laos on my podcast, the Black Expat Podcast, available wherever you can find podcasts. Google it. I'm also on Google Podcasts. I'm pretty much everywhere. And also, I write now. So check out my Medium page. I have a bunch of articles there already. When I say bunch, I mean 3. Check that out. They're all linked in the description of this video that you're watching. And as always, make sure you subscribe. Now, before I get into the story, you guys know what time it is. Have a drink with me. Now, this ain't juice, y'all. This is gin and juice. I just felt like drinking gin and juice today, so I made it because I'm on a bar and we got gin back here. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna drink gin today. But when I was in Laos, one thing that I did was I actually got inside of a hot air balloon. Now, I've always wanted to do hot air balloon rides in Turkey. I think it's in Cappadocia. I want to say that's where it is. I don't know. It sounds right. Yeah, it's there. But the first place I wanted a hot air balloon ride was in Laos. Now, I'm going to talk to you guys about the experience in getting there because it was a little crazy. It was definitely a lot of suspect, but it worked out. In Laos, their first language ain't English, so everything was kind of hard to understand. But one thing they got very well, and they got correct the first time around, was how much it costs. And you definitely have to pay for all of it up front and right away. But to get there, we woke up at, I want to say 4 o'clock in the morning. We got in the back of a van, and the van drove us to where we were going to go hot air balloon riding. Now, I want to throw this out there. When you pull up to a hot air balloon ride place, again, I have not done this in any other place in the world, so I don't know if this was standard operating procedure, but everything was outside. And we pulled up, it was like a guy holding like a little crank thing, something you use to, I don't know, to start the lawnmower or something like that. I don't know what it was, but he was like blowing up, it looked like he was blowing up the hot air balloon, but he was actually getting the fire ready. And then they kind of tilted the thing down and they pointed the fire sideways, and we actually were there when they tilted the balloon up and got it ready for it to pick us up and then ascend into the sky. Now that was not what I expected to see. I'm not gonna lie. I had no idea what it was like to ride in a hot air balloon. I really thought it was something where you kind of just walked outside and it was ready and you got in and it kind of just floated up. But it was actually really, really cool in another country to kind of see the entire process of making the hot air balloon stand up and then us pretty much just running in. So once the hot air balloon was ready to go in the air, they're like, hey guys, run in, go, get in, go. And it was like 12 of us. Like, oh man, where do I stand? Oh, it's the fire right there. The fire is really, really close to my face. You can feel the fire on you. One, I'm glad they made us go really early in the morning. It was like 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. We were in the air, I think, from 8 until maybe 9 o'clock. We got there really early just so we could see the entire process, which again, was very, very cool. But I'm glad it was very, very early. This was one day when I went, because I did this twice in Laos. Remember, cptravels.com was my old travel company, so we would take people there often. But the first time we went, this day, the video that you're watching right now that you're seeing, it was a fairly cloudy day. It wasn't as clear as the first time. The sun wasn't out yet, but it was still really cool to be up that high and to look out and see all the amazing landscape that Laos had to offer, and just to be up that high in a hot air balloon. It looked really, really cool. It felt really, really cool. It kind of felt like you're weightless and you're floating, not necessarily among, like with the clouds, but you're pretty high up. And yeah, there's really nothing to stop you from falling out and potentially dying. So I stayed very, very close to the edge where I could hold on to things. I knew that if we fell out of the sky, I was gonna put 1 or maybe 2 people underneath me to kind of cushion my fall. I know what you're thinking. It's real high up. You're gonna die anyway. I don't know. I want to die comfortable. I don't know about you. I want to die in the comfort of somebody cushioning me or in my bed. But anyway, yeah, the experience in itself was really cool. Once the fire got started, the balloon started going up. We're kind of looking around like, oh my God, how fast is it gonna go up? Apparently there's a guy in the back that controls the level of the fire, and that determines how high up you go. Now, the route down was pretty interesting. Again, I don't know what I thought in my mind hot air balloon ride would be like, but I definitely thought when we ascended down that there was like a little station that we kind of pulled into where there's like these machines that kind of make you safely go into it. Nah, it ain't none of that. Literally, none of those things. It's 5 dudes standing down there like, hey, come this way. You, come on. Fireman, do this way. Turn it. Now, I wish I had this on video, but I don't, or I can't find it. I don't remember which one's true. But the first time we did it, we landed in the tree and we almost actually tipped over. They didn't speak English during that part. They definitely spoke a different language. But this time, the 5 guys were in the field. They were like, hey, come on down. Hot air balloon fell down. They caught us, and then we pretty much just jumped out. And that was it, a hot air balloon riding. But the feeling of it, I've been skydiving. That video's coming up next. I've been skydiving, and that you do feel weightless, but you definitely feel the wind, and you see the clouds, and you feel the air on you. Hot air balloon ride, it wasn't that windy out, so you didn't really feel the wind, but you don't, like your stomach doesn't drop going up or down. You don't really feel anything. You kind of just, you have all that fresh air, and the air feels different when you're high up in the sky compared to when we're kind of down low. So, I mean, it was great. I would definitely do it again. It cost about $50 US to do. We were in the air for maybe 30 minutes. Again, that fire is really hot, so 30 minutes is more than enough time. I think hot air balloon riding over a beautiful landscape is something I do want to do one more time in my life. I've been skydiving, I haven't been bungee jumping. I don't know if I'd skydive again, but I would definitely do hot air balloon rides again. And I would definitely do it in Laos. Again, I've done it twice. The second time in this video that you're saying, it wasn't as clear, but the first time, Laos is beautiful, right? And just seeing the world from a different perspective is always worthwhile. And always amazing, and you should always do it, especially if it's only $50, and especially if it looks relatively safe. I mean, I'm okay, so you can do it, right? Yeah, why not? But again, thanks you guys for tuning in to another episode of me talking about cool stuff I've done over the course of my life, and hopefully have a lot more stories on the way after that. But if you like what you're hearing, like what you heard, and want to hear more, click the subscribe button, and definitely subscribe to my podcast, the Black Expat Podcast. And if you think you're cool enough to be interviewed, or if you think I'm okay enough that you kind of want to talk to me, reach out to me. I'd love to put you on my podcast, talk about whatever you want to talk about, but mostly what I want to talk about, and then some stuff you want to talk about too. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode. Appreciate you. You guys know what time it is. Have a drink with me. Hey, Snoop was right. He was on something with this gin and juice. I'm not gonna drink it again, but I'm definitely enjoying drinking it today. I'm a whiskey guy.